everyone, I'm here today with my end of 2021 book haul. Yes, I know it's 2022 now, but I acquired all of these books in 2021. Now, I buy a ridiculous amount of Kindle books. I've also gone through phases of requesting more NetGalley books than any reasonable person can read in any reasonable amount of time. I'm not covering digital forms in this book haul, as we would be here all day. Meanwhile, I rarely buy physical books, which means that a yearly book haul is actually kind of a good way for me to showcase what books I get. So that is the purpose of this. I don't think I've shown any of these off in a previous book haul. If I have, I'm sorry, I forgot. But generally speaking, I really don't think I have. I tend not to haul physical books because I rarely get any, or I get like one. Meanwhile, the digital books I do sometimes do hauls of. So here is all the books, I don't think I've missed any, all the books I acquired in 2021. There's a couple on here that I bought for myself. There's several gifts on here. Let's get cracking. The first one I have to show you is The Appeal by Janice Hallett. I saw Emma over at Drinking by My Shelf reading this as some sort of like vlog reading challengey thing, and it really sparked my attention. It had quite genuine appeal for me, as it seems to be some sort of mystery novel in which you really kind of get engrossed and in on the action of trying to solve this crime. So that's where I first heard of this, and then I put it on my wish list, and the lovely Aoife over at Words of Clover got me this for my birthday. So thank you so much to Aoife. I'm so excited to read this, and unlike previous years where I've gone, I'm so excited to read this and then just don't read books, I'm gonna read all of these books this year. I'm saying this right now, this is a TBR for 2022. I'm reading every single one of these books, and many other books too, but these are all getting read. So yes, first one, majorly excited. Next up, we have another gift from Aoife, and this is Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. This is a book that I've seen a lot of people reading last year, and I wanted in on the action, but also I'd put this on my wish list because I was working on my BookTube bestie project, kind of books I need to pick up, and this was one of them because someone, I can't remember who, either Aoife or Victoria, I'd got this as a pick for a book I needed to read for the BookTube bestie project. And so this was one that I was definitely thinking, oh yes, must get a hold of a copy of this, and shoved it on my wish list. And so here we are. I'm hoping I enjoy it. It comes across as a little bit intimidating to me, so I've seen mainly good things, but a few mixed things. Nervous but excited. Next up we have Girls of Paper and Fire. I really cannot remember why this was on my wish list. I don't know if it's another BookTube bestie pick or if there's some other reason why it made it onto my wish list. I just don't remember anything of what this one's about, but Aoife also got me this one, so thank you so much, Aoife. It will be getting read this year, along with hopefully some of the other books you bought me over the years. Like I said, this is going to be the year where I read the books. I don't remember anything about this. It's fantasy. I really think this is on here because of the BookTube Bestie project. It's probably someone's favourite. Next up, we have It Only Happens in the Movies by Holly Bourne. This was also on my wish list, and it had made it in because I'm sure... Well, first of all, I love Holly Bourne anyway. I love her writing. I have read the Spinster Club trilogy, and I own some of her other adult books. I don't know whether this is one of the adult ones or not, but I think I'd also picked this for some sort of BookTube bestie pick. And meanwhile, the wonderful Victoria over at What Victoria Read sent me this. Thank you so much. She sent it me for my birthday, and she said on the gift note that this is one of her favourites by Holly Bourne, so that makes me even more excited to read this because I know she loves Holly Bourne and has read a lot more of her books than I have. Next up, we have a book that was a gift from my manager at work, and that is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, a cloth-bound edition. It's just beautiful. I love Pride and Prejudice, which they'd somehow managed to find out, because I don't think I overly talk about loving Pride and Prejudice at work, so that seems a bit strange. But it's such a glorious edition to have. I'm not sure I'd ever read from this edition. There may be. But I do own a Kindle copy of Pride and Prejudice. I do own a paperback copy of Pride and Prejudice. So I wouldn't necessarily want to sweat this beautiful cover up with my hand. But maybe I'll read this edition one day. But meanwhile, it makes a fine fine addition to my bookshelf. I adore owning this. Next up we have a book that I bought for myself, and that was Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I have to buy any Taylor Jenkins Reid book these days because she's definitely one of my favourite authors of all time, and so it was a no-brainer to get the hardback of this, and I also read it pretty quickly. I didn't review it pretty quickly though. I only filmed the review for it a couple of days ago. So if you are interested in my slightly delayed and can no longer really properly remember thoughts on this, I will leave that linked in the cards and also the description down below so you can check that out. And by the way, that one's definitely up there with The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo for me. Another book that I bought for myself, quite a recent purchase, is Apples Never Fall by Liane Moriarty. This is another one of my favourite books. I wouldn't know if it's a favourite book, I've not read it yet. This is another one of my favourite authors of all time at this point. I love Liane Moriarty's writing. And so when I saw this in Waterstones as a signed copy, I was more than willing to pay the Waterstones price for a signed hardback copy of one of her books. So I need to get to this soon because I just love her writing so much. Which ones have I read? I've read The Husband's Secret, that's the first one I read. I've read 3 Wishes, which is about triplets. I've read 9 Perfect Strangers. Ironically, I've not read some of the more famous ones like Big Little Lies. I've not read that yet. But hopefully I can get to this one a lot quicker. And I have literally no idea what it's about, can't say. Just picked it up because it was signed and because it was Liane Moriarty. And the final one is another one that I read and I've showed off in videos, but I don't think I've shown off in a haul. I did get it during 2021. And that was House of Leaves by Mark Danielewski. And this was a journey. I'm glad I read this during lockdown while I was furloughed. I don't think I could have followed this in a normal, everyday working environment. Would I recommend reading this? Yes. If you have the time to dedicate to it, I think this was a valuable reading experience for me. It's definitely not for the faint-hearted. It's a very difficult read in the sense of you really have to be quite switched on at times. If you're not aware of what this is about, I'm not sure I can tell you what it's about without possibly including some sort of spoiler at this point, because it's just such a book. It's got multiple different perspectives, and some of these perspectives are quite crazy and not necessarily reliable narrators. And meanwhile, there's something else going on to do with a house. I don't know how I can talk about this without spoiling it. So I can't remember if I ever filmed a video for this. I don't think I did, but if I did, I'll leave that linked in the cards and description down below. But if I have you intrigued to at least look into what this is about, then I really hope that you do. But yeah, like I said, I just don't know how to explain this book. There's one of the weirder pages for you. I don't know how to explain what this is about. One of my favourite reviews for this book that actually made me really want to pick it up was by Chapter Stacks. So I will try and leave that linked in the cards or the description if I remember, because that's well worth checking out. And she'll do a much better job of trying to get you to read this and telling you what it's about than what I ever could. And that brings us to the end of this haul. As I said, I don't really buy many physical books, so I might try and do like a physical book haul each year, maybe. That could work. Meanwhile, I'll keep throwing a few digital ones in here and there just to spruce things up. But thank you so much for watching this haul. If you've read any of these books or you want to read any of these books, let me know in the comments down below. Also, let me know which ones you think I should prioritise first. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe by clicking the image of me if you want to see more book reviews and other bookish content from me, and I will see you soon. Bye bye!